Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Dr. Halimah, and the lecture now is number 10, and the title is Computer Aided Translation and Machine Translation. As usual, we will go through the following points. Hopefully they will help you follow the lecture. The learning outcomes, then we will know what is meant by the term computer-aided translation, CAT. Then we will talk about the importance of CAT. Then we will talk about the CAT tools. Then there is a very important and dry term called translation memory technology. We will find out what this means. Then we will talk about types of segment matches in translation memory, and then we will talk about machine translation and the types of machine translation, and the most popular machine translation system and the challenges in machine translation. Now I have to warn you at the very beginning, this lecture is a bit dry and the terminology is not that common and familiar to you. So you need really to go through it once or two or three times. And I'm going to be slower and try to explain everything to you. Hopefully you will be able to understand it. And I would recommend that you go through the scanned papers and you read it if you want to know more about these two particular terms. Very briefly, I will go through them. Now, the learning outcomes, you should be able to show understanding of the terms of computer-aided translation and machine translation. You should be aware, you should be able to show awareness of the benefits and shortcomings of machine translation. And you should be able to use computer-aided translation and machine translation to your own benefits. If you could do that by the end of this lecture, it means you are a wonderful student. Very good. And I'm sure you will be. I'm sure you will be, and you are a wonderful student, a very good student. This is what I would expect of you. Now, what is the term computer-aided translation? This CAT, this is, this is short for computer-aided translation. From now on, if I say CAT, it means computer-aided translation. The term refers to translation in which human translation, HT, is aided by computer applications. In other words, the computer helps you, or you get help from the computer. Very simple. Don't complicate things. Computer-aided translation, it means the translation you do yourself with the help of the computer. Now, second point, the key characteristic of CAT is that the human translator, you, takes control of the translation process, and technology is used to facilitate rather than replace a human translation. It means you are in control, not the computer. You are in control of the translation, and you make use of the computer. Make use of this computer that aids you in your translation. This is very important. And the technology can never, ever replace you as a translator. Never. This is a fact. Now, What is the importance of CAT? Now, we refer to technology because technology seems to help us solve some of the translation problems. Technology helps us because we need time, and the technology helps us to do things in a shorter time, and it helps us to do things in cheaper. And especially nowadays, this is as a result of globalization. They need things quickly, they need things cheaply, if it means lesser price. That's why CAT has become predominant mode of translation, especially in scientific and technical translation, where technology is used. Why? To increase productivity and cost effectiveness, as well as improve quality. So we are using CAT technology because we want to produce more quicker. We want to make the cost less, and at the same time we want to improve quality. That's why CAT is becoming important now. All right? Now, what kind of tools does this CAT have? Now, we have any type of computerized tools that translator use to help them do this job. This includes, CAT tool, any type. As long as it is computerized, you can say, well, it is an aid or it is a tool. But we have two types: general purpose applications. General purpose applications such as word processor, optical character recognition, etc. General purpose processor, like the word processor, word windows, and so on. So you use them, and they are called tools. Then we have translation-oriented tools. Translation-oriented tools such as the multilingual electronic dictionaries. Now students are using electronic dictionaries. The corpus analysis tools, terminology extraction and terminology management systems. So there are systems, programs, where you can get information from through the computer. So these are the tools used in this technology. Now there is a special kind of technology. It's called translation memory technology. Please pay attention. Now, TM, translation memory. Translation memory, what does it do? It allows the translator to store translation into a database. Translation, you store it in a database and you recycle them. It means reuse them in a new translation. By what? By automatically retrieving matched segments for reuse. You store the translation, then when you want to translate, you go to them and you try to reuse them. How? You make sure that you have matching segments. Segments means like sentences. This sentence in the data matches with the sentence I'm translating. Really, this is very simple, simply put. Now, the TM database, the second point, Now, the database consists of what? Of a source text and target text segments. The data consists of a source text and the target text segment pairs, which form the so-called translation units. So in the database, you have a segment from the source and a segment from the target, and they are stored in the database, and they are called translation units. Now, after dividing a new source text into segments, the system compares each successive ST segment against the ST segment stored in the translation database. Now you have source text and target text in the system, okay? And you want to translate a text here. Now you take this text, or the data, or the program takes this text and compares this text with the source text and the target text, and sees whether they match. This sentence from here, does it match with the source, and does it match with the target? If it does, then all right, we'll come to the matching idea later. This is how it works. So when a new ST segment, when the two, look at this here, when a new ST segment matches an ST segment in the database, the relevant TU is retrieved. Imagine, see? Now when you have a new source text segment means a sentence, one unit, a sentence unit, normally a sentence. When you have a sentence from the source text, put it in the program, the translation memory, and if this sentence matches with the ST segment stored in the computer or stored in the program, in the database, then what happens? The relevant TU means the target unit, or the text unit, the translation unit, is retrieved. So you retrieve means you call back, or you take, or you recall, or you have the translation you wanted. You understand? So it's really simple. So if you haven't understood it by now, go back to my explanation. You will be able to understand. Go once, twice, or three times, then hopefully you will understand what I'm talking about. Now, hopefully the following slides will make it clear to you. All right. Now, this hopefully makes it clearer to you. Now, what are the types of segment matches in translation memory? As I said earlier, you have this translation memory contains source text segments, target text segments. You bring a source text from here, a segment, and you take this segment, a sentence, and you say, all right, I'll put it into this translation memory technology or a program and find out whether they match with the ST here and the TL here. If they match, then you will have the translation unit ready for you. Now, there are three types of matches. We have an exact match. An exact match means that the ST segment from English, all right? You take the ST segment from English. You want to translate this. You put it in the T memory. And then this ST, the English ST segment, a sentence, is identical, is exactly the same as the segment stored into the translation memory program. including formatting and style. Form and content, exactly the same. This is what we mean by an exact match. Okay? Then you press a button and the translation comes out to you. Exact match. This is the easiest. Now, a full match means the ST means the source text segment matches one stored in the memory with differences only in variable elements such as numbers, days, times. Now you have the ST segment and again the source text segment here, and you want to check whether you have a match to it in the ST segment in the TM technology. Now, if it is a full, if it has some differences in certain elements such numbers, dates, times, and so on, then you cannot say it is a full match. It is you cannot say it is an exact match. It is called a full match because there are differences in numbers, in dates, blah blah blah, like this. So this is the second type of match. It is called full match. Now the fuzzy match, number 3, the fuzzy match is where the ST segment is similar to a segment in the memory. When can be used with some editing. Now you have a segment here, you check it with the memory, and you find out that there is one similar, but it needs a lot of editing. So you need to edit. That's why they call it fuzzy. It means not exact, not full match. Now, this kind of translation is becoming very popular. You know why? Because it helps translator, because it helps to obtain discount, translation discount in translation fees. Why? Because there is already existing translation. So if you come to me and you say, all right, I want this text to be translated, and I am using translation memory technology. I say, all right, because I have matching translation to what you have, I will give you a discount, and I will produce this translation quicker to you. But don't worry about the outcome, it should be all right. That's why it's becoming popular. Okay? Now, what we have said so far is about aided translation. This is one part of the lecture. Now, the second part of the lecture is a complete different type of translation. It is called machine translation. I'm sure the majority of you must have heard of this term. Machine translation. What is it? It involves the use of computer programs to translate text from one natural language into another automatically. It is less complicated than the computer-aided translation, I think, for you to understand, but probably a different system, and you know, each system has its own advantages and disadvantages. But this one, machine translation, means the use of computer programs to translate text from one natural language into another automatically. This is what we mean by machine translation, all right? Now, what are the types of machine translation? There are two types. Unassisted or fully automatic. Unassisted, it means fully automatic type of translation, where translation engines translate, or where the translation engine translates whole text without the intervention of a human operators. In other words, you have a text, you put it in a program, and then this program produces a complete text without any help. This is called unassisted or fully automatic. But I'm not sure about the quality. I'm not sure about the quality. I have my own reservations about machine translation products and computer-aided products. I have my own reservations, but it's not our concern here. Now, the second type of machine translation is human-assisted machine translation. In other words, human translators intervene. To do what? To resolve problems of ambiguity in the source text, or to select most appropriate target language, word or phrase for output. Now, human-assisted machine translation, the translator, this I don't mind. This one I don't mind really. It helps. It helps. Why? Because you, as a human translator, you control. You say, I want this translation, please, from this program. It gives you, for instance, a translation, but you need to interfere, to intervene, and say, all right, I better do something about this. I better do something about that. It needs a lot of editing. And there are certain ambiguities. You need to solve these ambiguities. So in this type of machine translation, computer programs really are to help you as a translator, carry out the translation. Okay, but you need to always watch over what's happening in your translation. You can't trust the machine. This is my advice. Never trust the machine when it comes to translation. There are so many stories about the mistakes, the serious mistakes of machine translation and computer-aided translation, if and only if the translator is not really watching. You have to watch every word you produce via machine translation or programs or computer-aided translation programs. This is my advice. Now, what are the most popular machine translation systems today? Well, I mean, the majority of you probably know them and use them. Now, we have two types. The most popular ones. We have special purpose system, where most editing is indispensable if the machine translation output is intended for dissemination. Special purpose system, it means you produce translation, but if it is for dissemination, it means to distribute. If you want to use this system and distribute the translation, then in this case you have to really edit it. It means to check it. After you produce it, you have to check everything in it. And normally, this type of translation is normally used in technical language, like manuals, like scientific manuals, maintenance, and all these technical text. But still, you need to check them, you need to edit them, you need to revise them if you want to distribute them for distribution, for dissemination. Now, the second type of systems is called online translation system. I'm sure most of you have tried it. If you want to translate, what's the meaning of this word, you check it, Google, you get the meaning, you get the translation. But we have Google system, or Google Translator, Yahoo Translator. I know they offer free translation, machine translation online, but this type of translation, I warn you, needs a lot of editing. It means a human translator should intervene and make sure that it's correct. Even if you check, for instance, a word, نهش. Okay? نهش. بدأت تنهش الذئاب البشرية بسكان القرية. If you check نهش, you would have so many words. Which one would you choose? I leave it to you. All right? This is just a little example of the dangers of using machine translation without human editing, post-editing. All right? Now, this doesn't mean that we cannot use machine translation. Of course, we can use machine translation, benefit from it, benefit from computer-aided translation programs, but the machine translation has certain challenges. It has to solve these challenges, which I doubt it can. I doubt it can, because no matter how good the system is, it can never be like the brain created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the translator. Now, two types of problems machine translation has to face, has to solve for us. Linguistic problems, which are caused by inherent ambiguities of the natural languages. That's what I'm saying. A natural language has its own linguistic ambiguities, such as, especially it happens in lexical structure, lexical and structure, and grammatical aspects of the language. There is a kind of mismatch. You cannot get this exact match of lexical, structural, grammatical issues or aspects or texts or units from a machine translation or even a computer-aided translation programs. Now, the second one, which is the most difficult one, is called extra linguistic problems. Extra linguistic problems are more difficult than, there is a spelling mistake here. This one should be then. Sorry about this. Extra linguistic problems are more difficult than that of linguistic problems because they are harder to codify. They are harder to codify. In other words, you cannot identify and limit these problems, like cultural problems. How can you codify cultural problems? How can you codify, for instance, a socio-cultural problem? So these are extra linguistic. It means they are not linguistic. This type of problems is really difficult to get into machine translation programs. So I hope that by now you have an idea about computer-aided translation and machine translation, what they can do and what they cannot do, and how we can benefit from them. And I hope you have enjoyed this difficult lecture, and hopefully you will be able to learn something from it. And I wish you all the best, and thank you very much indeed for listening.